So Rana, thank you for being with us. Rana is co-founder and chief science officer of Affectiva, an MIT startup that is a global leader in emotion technology. She is lead inventor of Affdex, the award-winning automated facial coding technology used globally by brands and market researchers such as Unilever, Mars, Millward Brown, and eBuzzing. She was previously a research scientist at MIT Media Lab, where she invented emotion sensing technologies and applications. She co-founded the Autism Technology Initiative at MIT, and she is passionate about making emotion technology ubiquitous to improve education and health. And her work has been cited in multiple places and in the popular media, and we're so proud to have Rana as part of our community and here with us to present about her journey today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good morning everyone, Sabah al-khair. I'll just first start by saying I am Egyptian and I'm very proud. I really am. The other thing I want to say, I've been to a lot of these entrepreneurship conferences, especially lately, and I have never seen so many people under 18. So I'd like to invite anybody who's under 18 here to rise, and I'd like to, you are our next, come on, up you go, up you go. Jana, Adam, I see you. My kids are here, Zach's here. Absolutely. I think that's amazing, and I have to admit I brought my kids because I didn't have any backup babysitting, but it's great to see other young kids here too. So I had a plan. I was an undergraduate at AUC, and I was doing computer science, and I wanted to graduate, do my PhD, come back to AUC and teach. And the plan didn't go that way, and I wanted to share with you my story today. So I finished my undergraduate at AUC, got accepted to do my PhD at Cambridge University, and I was really becoming very interested in this idea of a computer that can recognize your emotions. So I, like many people, spent many, many hours interacting with my computer. But I noticed that my computer had absolutely no idea how I was feeling. So often I'd be working on a project, very stressed and frustrated, and back in the days, Clippy would pop up. Anybody here recognize Clippy? Yep. So it would pop up and it would ask me if I wanted to write a letter, where often I didn't. So it was very frustrating, and I started to think about the importance of emotions in our lives and emotion intelligence. If you're from Egypt, you recognize that emotions drive our passions and our behaviors, and it characterizes how we interact with people, and we get very passionate. So I got into this idea of building an emotionally intelligent computer, a computer that can recognize how we feel and then affect positive behavior change, really, affect and drive our behaviors. So started building that technology. I remember I was at Cambridge, and I was giving a talk, and somebody in the audience, I was basically talking about how it's hard to build a computer that can read your emotions. And I was focused on facial expressions. Somebody in the audience raised his hand after the talk, and he said, my brother has autism. This was, I think it was the year 2000. I actually didn't know what autism was. So I was like, okay, that sounds intriguing. So I searched for what autism was, and I realized that, oh, here's Lamia, old friends here. So I realized that basically Cambridge had one of the top autism research centers in the world. Reached out to them, connected with the professor there, and just totally got fascinated by the idea of a technology that can help individuals with autism communicate better. So autistic people have really hard, they really face a lot of challenges understanding other people's social and emotional cues. So we started developing this technology. It was a Google Glass-like technology back in the day. Camera tracks your facial expressions, gives you real-time feedback. We applied for a grant from the National Science Foundation to basically do this in the US. Got rejected the first time because it was too ambitious. We actually built the prototype anyhow at the MIT Media Lab. Applied again, got the funding, and started doing that autism work. Every year at the MIT Media Lab, basically MIT has a very different, or the Media Lab has a very different funding structure than a lot of the academic institutions around the world. 80% of the funding comes from the industry as opposed to the government. So twice a year, we would invite people, all our industry sponsors, to come and see our work. And for about, starting 2006, twice a year, these guys from P&G and Samsung and Google and Microsoft, they would come and they'd say, okay, this research is very interesting. There's a lot of business applications to it. And I'd say, yeah, I understand that, but I'm not really interested in starting a business. And then in 2009, I think, I had a list of about 18 different companies who wanted to use our technology for various things. So, we had Procter & Gamble interested in using our technology for product testing, and we had the, Time wanting to use our technology for TV show testing. So I barged into my director's office, and I was like, Frank, I really need 10 more research assistants to make this happen. And he said, it's time for you to spin out. And I had to think hard about this because I always thought I'd be an academic. But the idea of taking a technology from an idea and a prototype to something that is used around the world by millions of people really intrigued me. And so in 2009, I have to slow down. Hang on. Yeah, depth. Okay, so in 2000, actually, can I get some water? That would be really helpful. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so in 2009, we decided to spin out. It was me and my co-founder, Professor Rosalind Picard, who ran our research group at MIT. And we started raising money, and our vision was to become the emotion layer of the internet. We wanted to sit between every kind of communication point between computers and technology, and eventually between humans and humans, to leverage emotion. Thank you. So we started Affectiva, and our first business, or kind of our first market really, is a $32 billion market that is really about understanding how consumers connect to brands. So a lot of advertising work, a lot of brand marketers, creative agencies, they really want to understand how their content interacts with consumers, or how consumers interact with their content. So we work with a number of Fortune 100 companies. Earlier this year, Unilever basically standardized on our technology. So our technology is able to read your facial expressions just using any normal webcam, and it's pretty exciting. We've also ported the technology to a mobile platform, and we have people from all over the world using the technology to develop kind of applications beyond advertising research, including autism, which is one of my areas of interest. We've raised over $20 million from top VCs in the US. So we've got, actually, in the US and abroad. We just brought in, about a year ago, one of the top tier investors in the US, so Kleiner Perkins and Horizon Ventures, so that's pretty exciting. And we're just about to expand kind of our area of business beyond market research and advertising to things like learning and health, which are very close to my heart. So that's very exciting. I often get asked, like, what are the three, things that have, key learnings, if you like, or key takeaways from kind of the experience of starting a business. And I'd say the first one is really passion. You have to absolutely really love what you do and really care for your cause, because and I think we heard this in the panel this morning, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So you have to be passionate. The second kind of takeaway is more about being an expert in what you do. So in my specific area of research, which is emotion sensing technology, we're recognized, or my group is recognized as one of the top researchers in this specific area of research. And I think it's very important as we sit here today, if you're starting a business, even if you're starting it in Egypt, make sure you are an expert in what you do. I think this really helps you earn respect from people you talk to. And then the third one is about naysayers. So I have ran into so many naysayers, it's not even funny. I have ran into people who said, oh, you can't do a PhD, you know, you're getting married, you know, you can't do that. I've ran into people who said, you're an academic, you can't really start a company, or you're never going to raise any money. Oh yeah, you're a woman, can't do that either. Yeah, so definitely a lot of naysayers, and you know, you'll run into them all the time, and I think you just ignore them. My kids and I were touring some schools recently, and we came across this Chinese proverb on a classroom door, which I thought was really inspiring. So, and I'll try to get this right. So it basically said, the person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who's doing it. And I thought that was really cool.